Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we all? I hope you're all well. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Well, it is now. It was raining earlier, still a few damp patches about. Going to do something a little bit different today. I'm actually going to take you to a section of road where I had my motorbike accident. I'm going to attempt to safely talk you through it and recreate some of it. Now, the first thing to know, full disclosure, is it was 100% my fault. There were 3 moments of stupidity that caused the accident, but there were also 3 moments of out and out luck that made things a lot better than they could have been. So the first moment of stupidity was my mindset. I was on my way to work in Bristol. It was a morning just like this. Sun was out, traffic was relatively clear, but my thoughts were on getting to work in a sensible time, rather than actually riding the motorbike safely. That's the first mistake. I'll talk about the other 2 mistakes a little bit later. Now, the end game from it was basically I completely wrecked the little finger on my right hand. Kind of lost the top knuckle. Still got the finger, but just very little movement in the top knuckle. Extremely painful. Being a mechanic at the time, a car mechanic, it was almost impossible for me to work. Luckily, where I did work at Bristol at the time, Hartwell Land Rover, who allowed me to do non-productive work. This included some collection delivery on driving, some front desk reception work, helping out within the workshop, but it was a pain, physically, mentally, extremely stressful, and it put me out of action for a few months. So that was the first mistake, mindset. Not having the right mindset when I was going out for a ride. I should have been thinking about riding the bike and at the end of it getting to the destination, not the destination, and see what happens on the way there. So we were on this road. I say we, I mean me and the bike. The A370 between Weston-super-Mare and Bristol. And we were heading towards a little village called Congsbury. Now, sadly, on the day, I wasn't following a car or a people carrier like this. I was following a double-decker bus. And a bit later on, when we get a bit closer to it, the part of the double-decker bus will be played by a double-decker bus. Now, when I explain to you the other 2 things that went horribly wrong, you will be disgusted, horrified at the stupidity of a grown adult. But I just want to point out that it did happen 21 years ago. It put me off riding a motorcycle for 19 of those years, and I learnt my lesson. And things could have been so much worse, as you'll see. So, first mistake, bus is in front of me. I know there's a left-hand corner coming up. I'm actually moved over and I am looking down the inside of the bus to see what the oncoming traffic is like. First mistake. Second mistake, I think it's clear. I pull out to this position and I clout that curb. So we've talked about the first mistake, which was looking down the wrong side of a bus, considering the thought of overtaking it. Then we'll talk about the second mistake, which is overtaking when there was a second concrete island. And if you look at the concrete island, one of these units here, one of these little sections here, is where I hit it. I believe it's that one, which is where the crack is. So we talked about the 3 things that went wrong. So let's talk about the things that actually could have been a lot worse. So first of all, I could have quite easily hit that lamppost, which is there. If I'd hit the lamppost, it could have been game over, quite literally. The second bit is when I landed, I actually landed upright and I thought, I'm okay, I'm upright, but I hadn't realised I'd smashed both my wheels, front and rear. So I started losing control and the bike started to weave. Now bear in mind, to the left of me was still a double-decker bus. So the second thing that could have gone wrong, but thankfully didn't, is that it didn't spit me off into or under the double-decker bus. And the third thing that was a stroke of luck was that when I did land and it started to weave, it weaved to the left first, which threw my body off the bike, but I kept hold of the handlebars. But then it weaved again and dropped down to the right, which means although my hand was trapped underneath, my legs, my body, my arms were all above the road as the bike spun down on its side. Then what happened was, full of adrenaline and not even realising I'd smashed my hand up so badly, I lifted the bike up off the floor, parked it up where my new bike is now, and then took a seat right here on the floor, and then looked at my hand and realised that there wasn't much glove left on my little finger, and there wasn't much skin left there either. And thankfully someone stopped, helped out, but as they stopped to help out, an ambulance that was just returning back to the depot, back towards Weston Supermare, stopped and took me straight into A&E, where I got sorted out by our wonderful NHS service. So let's look at the 3 things that went wrong. The mindset, nowhere near in the position it should have been. Looking down the inside of a double-decker bus to see if oncoming traffic is clear, and then overtaking the double-decker bus straight into a concrete island. Those 3 things went wrong. The 3 things that could have saved my life. One is, after hitting the concrete island, I didn't hit the post that's in the middle of it. If I'd hit that post, it could have been game over. When I landed, I wasn't thrown off, bearing in mind there was a double-decker bus right next to me, and I could so easily have been thrown under it or into it, both of which could have ended badly. And the third thing is the way the bike weaved and threw me off. It threw me off where the only thing that was actually getting hurt on the ground, because it was trapped underneath as I spun down the road, was my hand. And I got off that accident with just a broken little finger. And I thank my lucky stars that that's all I had. So there you go. That is a remake and a walkthrough of a horrendous day. My son had only just been born, and it really brought it home to me how dangerous this hobby can be if you're not careful. And I wasn't careful, I was stupid. Not only my life could have been changed, but the lives of my family could have been changed forever. Which is why now, when I go out for a ride, my priority is making sure I get home at the end of it. So, guys, I appreciate your time. I know it's a bit different, it's not the usual sort of normal vlog talking about daily observations or how my day's gone, or, you know, bigging up people, talking about the situation at hand. But actually it was good for me. I wanted to come out here. Every time I ride down this road and ride past that, it always goes through my head. I always have a flashback of that day. More so through frustration, because I know it was my fault, 100% my fault. So appreciate your time. As always guys, take care, be good to one another, keep safe. Please like any videos on my channel that you enjoy, leave feedback if you didn't, and subscribe. I'm not going to promise you that I'll keep you entertained, but I'll certainly try. Have a good one guys, enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week, and I'll catch up with you on the flip side.